Hey guys, I welcome you all to the third video as well as the second tutorial video for this series. If you missed out on the previous tutorial for this series, all you have to do is click on the link in the description box below, which will take you to the first tutorial so you can easily follow along with today's section. So moving forward on our UI UX and web development course, in our last tutorial we were able to cover the setup and installations of Figma and Adobe SD on our device. So in today's course, or in today's section, we are going to be talking about navbar and states. Alright, so first of all, I'm just going to create a new design file. Alright, I'm going to head over to this tool over here. This is called the region tool, as you can see by the tooltip. So I'm just going to click on this and select frame. Alright, so this will give me, or this will open a panel where I can pick a frame, any frame I want. Alright, I'm just going to pick a desktop frame because I'm going to be creating an experience design for the navbar section or for the navbar component of a website. Alright, so in upcoming series, we'll be talking about how to code them, both the front end and how to get data dynamically from lists, arrays, whatever. Alright, so I'm just going to click on MacBook Air, or let me just click on desktop. Alright, so this is quite large. I'm just going to head over here and zoom in. Let's say zoom to 50%. Alright, so if you're hearing about state for the very first time, I will briefly explain to you what it is. Alright, a state is, literally a state is just like the current or the particular condition of an element at a particular period of time, simply put. So when you relate it to UI UX designs or web development and the rest, it's just the same thing, literally. Alright, so there are a lot of states, which we'll be talking about in future videos, but not now. The only state we'll be talking about is the overstate. Alright, so for the overstate, it's actually a condition or a reaction or an interaction that occurs when the cursor moves over an element. That's just how it is. So it's a very interactive response you get from an element whenever you're using a website or you're using a web application or something like that. It's just very cool when you place your mouse over an element and a certain reaction occurs. So that's just what we'll be doing today. So first of all, I'm just going to create a very simple navbar. And if you don't know what a navbar is, a navbar means what? Navigation bar. It's always placed at the top of any website or any web application. Sometimes it's placed at the side, depends on how the designer wants it. But a navbar is just used for navigation. That's because it contains all appropriate web links to pages on your website. Alright, so I'm just going to draw or just create a very simple navigation bar. I'm just going to pick up my rectangle tool, or you can toggle it on with R on your keyboard by holding down R on your keyboard. Alright, so I'm just going to click and drag over here like this. Okay, that's fine. Alright, first of all, I'm going to change the fill color by coming over here. Just going to change it to white. I'll close this up, then come over to the desktop itself and change the fill color. Alright, to change the fill color to initially to be white. Alright, maybe I happen to change mine before recording, so I'm just going to change it to gray, something like this. So there'll just be like a clear difference between the navigation bar and the background. Alright, so if you like, you can click on the rectangle itself and add a drop down effect. So I'm just going to add a drop down effect. You can see, just click on drop shadow. I said the drop down effect, actually a drop shadow effect. Alright, I'm just going to click on this and I can give the blur as let's say 6. You can see that nice effect we have over here. So this X stands for the X axis, like this. That's the horizontal axis, and the Y stands for the Y axis. Alright, we'll be talking about drop shadows properly in future series, but for now, just so you know, I'm just going to add a little drop shadow effect. Alright, so I'm just going to pick up my text tool, and type graphics. Okay, I'm just going to type graphics. Alright, so I'm not just going to be doing anything special here. I'm not just going to be doing anything special, so I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. Sorry, Ctrl Z. I'm just going to come over to this frame here, and actually I'm going to come over to the scale and just increase this by holding down Alt. Simple as that. So I'm just going to come over to this place again, that's to the move tools, click on the drop down here and click on move. I'm going to move it to this place at the top here. All right, so we can look at other properties of this text tool. So first of all, what we need is to actually reduce the size of the text. Then we just probably change the font if you want or if you wish. All right, so I'm just going to set the text to, let's say, 50. Okay, then I'm just going to make it bold. I'll make it bold. All right, and I'll just use my arrow key to bring it down. Okay, or you can just use your mouse to just drag it down a bit until it snaps to this red line, indicating that that's the center of the rectangle. All right, so I'm just going to change the text to my my brand color, which is this, the orange. Okay, I don't really have the hexadecimal code for it, but I'm just going to select this for the tutorial sake. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to pick up my text tool again. So all right, I'm just going to come over here, or you can hold down T on your keyboard, as easy as that. T for test. Okay, so I'm just going to click on the empty space and just type home. All right, okay, so I'm just going to drop my tool and come over to this text formatting here, or the text properties. So I'm just going to reduce the font size to, let's say 40. Okay, 40. Let me select it again. You have to select the layer so it goes out of the text selection. Okay, so I'm just going to set it as or set it to 40, nice, like this, and I'm just going to place it over here like this. All right, so let's just reduce it to 30 and see how that goes. 30. Okay, this is perfect. 30. So 30 will do just fine. So this is the center. I can see the red arrow and my text has snapped to it. All right, I'm just going to duplicate this text, and I'll do that by holding down Ctrl+D. Okay, Ctrl+D. So Ctrl D. You can see the text layer has been duplicated. So I'm just going to hold down my shift and use my mouse to just move like this. All right, simple. And I'm going to double click on this, and let's call it about. All right, okay, I'm going to click outside. I'm still going to duplicate this again. You can also Ctrl+C, that's copy, and Ctrl+V, paste. All right, I'm just going to Ctrl+D to duplicate. Still same thing. Hold down my shift key and move this to the right. You can see to this point where it says, okay, it's spaced 49 pixels in between each text. Then I'm just going to release my mouse. All right, double click on this and just call it contacts. And well, this should do for now. Let's not just have too many stuff, so we'll get down to this tutorial. All right, so I'm just going to change the home to I'll change the color of the home to active, the active color, which is this. All right, just change it like this. Okay, let's just add one more. I'm just going to add one more, and I'm just going to call this, let me first of all duplicate this. All right, and move it like this. Call this contacts. Then I'll just change this or let's just call it something else. What should we call it? Someone should suggest for me. Let's call it services. Actually the services is supposed to be before the contact, but nevertheless. All right, so what I want to do is just to reduce the boldness of this text. Just reduce the boldness and just take it I'm just going to keep it as medium. All right, keep the next one too as medium. Okay, so this is nice. All right, so what I want to do is to illustrate the over effect straight away. All right, and this is how we initialize a hover effect. Very simple, very simple. Just pay attention to it and you'll get it. All right, so I'm just going to click on home, the text. All right, and I'm just going to duplicate this again, Ctrl+D. All right, I'm going to hold the shift and move this outside like this, so it's outside our artboard, or it's outside our storyboard. So I'm holding down shift because I want this to move in a linear motion. I want it to move straight above So when you hold down shift, it won't move, anywhere. It will just move straight. All right. So you want them to be in the same, direction, or else it won't give you the kind of effect or reaction you want. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to right click on this. I'm just going to right click on this, and I'm just going to select the frame selection. Okay. So what this does is it converts this text to a frame. Okay, this is a frame, this desktop is a frame, this is also a frame. Now we have converted the text to a frame. Okay, you can see this icon indicating that okay, this is a frame. All right, so what I'm going to do is to just double click on this and change this to, I'm just going to leave it as home, but I'll just change the color to something else. Let's say something noticeable. Let's use green. All right, let's use green. So whenever we place our mouse over home on home, the home text or the home link, it's going to just change from this orange color to this green. Very simple. All right, so how do we do that? Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to go to the prototype section. This is the prototype section, and actually there's a whole lot to discuss on prototype, but if you have seen my series on how to create a mobile banking UI UX, you will notice that I talked a lot, or I discussed a lot about prototyping, especially in the part 3. So you will want to watch it to know about prototyping in Figma and also Adobe SD, but I actually use Adobe SD for that course. All right, so I'm just going to click on interactions, and when I click on interactions, I'm just going to click on this. All right, but first of all, you want to click on the text that you want to initiate the interaction on, and which is home. I want to click on, whenever I click on home, will not click. Actually, whenever I hover my mouse on home, I want it to just change its color to this green we have over here. All right, so the prototype section, I'm just going to click on interaction. I'm just going to click on this, but we are not looking for the click reaction. We are actually looking for the while hovering. This is what we want. All right, so when I click on the while hovering, all right, so what should happen when I click on the while hovering? It should move to this text we have here. So all I needed to do was just to click and drag. I just clicked and drag, as simple as that. Okay, so just click and drag. So while hovering, it will just move like that. Okay, so I'm just going to taking this out first. This is not what I need. I just wanted to show you an illustration. All right, so while hovering, so you want to make sure you click on this section. Instead of navigate to, you're going to change it to open overlay. Change this to open overlay. All right, then you want to change the overlay type to manual. Yes, very important. Then let's use an animation style of dissolve. All right, so let's test this out. Let's see how it's going to be. Let's see if it's going to work out the way you want it or not. Then you can also set the time. This is 300 milliseconds. If you want it slower, if you want it faster, you can just increase it, but let's just leave it as default. All right, I'm just going to close this and click on the play button, which is the present here. All right, it's loading. I guess I don't have a good internet connection today. If not, it should be faster than this. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom into this. I'm just going to zoom. Let's just try and zoom. Let's actually zoom in. I don't I always have issues differentiating between the zoom in and the zoom out. Let's see, fit to screen. Okay, this is better. This should be zoom in or zoom out. I don't know, but if you know better, you can just correct me. All right, let us test this out. So I'm just going to hover my mouse on it, and wow, you can see it changed the color changed. Wow, this is so beautiful. You can see. So this is what the hover effect does. Very simple. You can see. Or actually, it might not necessarily be color. You can add effects to it, like a bounce effect. You can add cool effect to this, a lot of stuff, but we're not going to be doing that because it's going to make the video a little bit longer than expected. But this is what the hover effect does. An action has occurred when I placed my mouse over this, and what was the action? Change of the color from the orange to the green. So that's what an hover effect is. All right, so I'm just going to go back to my page, and you can see, so you can do the same thing for the about. Very simple, can do the same thing for the about. So guys, this will be all for today. This is where I'm going to stop because I don't want the video to be too long and boring for you all. Don't forget to test what we have learned together on the remaining links. That's the about, the content, and the services, so you can get used to it and try other things. Don't limit yourself to what you can do on it. Don't just stick to what I've taught you. You can try other things. You can add other effects, can just play with it and get good results. All right, so guys, don't forget to like and share this video with your friends, people interested in learning UI UX and web development. A lot is going to be released on this channel, a lot, and I can assure you that you will learn a lot by the time this series is completed. So guys, don't forget to share this video with your friends, with your loved ones, those people interested in learning but they don't know who to go and meet. This channel is there for everyone. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe, support our movement. So don't forget to join me on our next tutorial, which is going to be the drop down menu. Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about the drop down menu. So guys, thank you all for watching. Bye. I love you all.